relationships along the way, and I've also let go of a lot of people that didn't serve me. And I think that's the best that's like one of the most gratifying forms of redirection, especially is when like you are forced in a sense to do what's best for you. You are forced in a sense. Hello everyone, thank you for coming to my channel Life with Lay, and today we're going to be talking about redirection. But before we get into the topic of today's video, I'd like to formally introduce myself. My name is lei.mercii when it comes to all my music and artistic creation. And I've been doing YouTube, I would say like since I was a kid, but like on and off for like the past 2 years. Upload something, delete it, upload something, delete it, and I'm tired of the back and forth. So I'm excited to actually be doing what I need to do. I wish the sun was like beaming for real, but give it 20 minutes, golden hour. I feel so out of breath, hashtag asthmatic, and y'all know I'm dedicated because I literally just got back from a doctor's appointment. But yeah, so like I said, the topic of today's video, redirection, and I'm gonna kind of get into like a couple of little stories on my journey with it all, right? So even with this whole YouTube thing, I kind of have always been drawn towards it whenever I'm going through different transitional periods in my life. And I guess I really just want to use it as a video diary, one, but also as a platform to reach many different people. I want to be able to help those who I can, and also just like be the person in the background that you can listen to while you're doing your makeup. Like that's kind of my whole want with doing all of this. I also used to always watch like YouTube videos when I was little, like Wasabi Productions or My Life with Ava, and like I always thought like I would love that as a career. So I've decided to go back to school for digital marketing and like multimedia and learn the business side of content creation so I can do it and do it right, because at the end of the day I would love for this to be my professional career. And it took a lot of different experiences that brought me back to wanting to go back to school, and it took so many different tries. I went to school twice. Like I literally right when out of high school at 16 went to college, changed my major 3 times, dropped out of college. I moved to Louisiana, came back here, went back to school, dropped back out of school, and everyone always tells me, Layla, you're always everywhere, but you're never really doing anything. You're doing everything, but you're never doing anything. And I'm finally tired of being that person. And I'm allowing, all of my past experiences to redirect me into the path that I'm meant to be on. And, at the end of the day, I can say that every path that I've been on is the path I'm meant to be on. But like, because it's led me here. But things just could have been dealt with very cleaner. I feel like I didn't have to keep going in circles. So yeah, this is my thoughts on redirection. This is my learnings, my experiences, and kind of what inspired today's video. So yeah, I don't know, yesterday I was supposed to have my dentist appointment, and a sequence of unfortunate events kept occurring because I don't have a car and I have to rely on Ubers, and I was going to be too late to make the appointment. I ended up calling, rescheduling, but I woke up at 7:30. I worked the day before, maybe got 5 hours of sleep. So I was extremely mad that I woke up early for no reason. And I decided to let it kind of dictate how my morning went. And I was like, when you're a little kid and you go to school and your parents yell at you before you go and you're like, oh, I'm going to be mean to everybody. I'm going to have a crappy day at school. That's kind of how I was feeling yesterday. And I was like, this is so immature of me. So I decided to partake in some some gardening, if you will. And then I just sat with myself and I evaluated myself, and I was like, this is embarrassing. I'm just gonna record a video and do something productive. Because I was sitting on my couch mellowing in anger. And I was like, when I go to work, I'm just irritated. I have to work. Like, all I kept thinking is, and I gotta work a double today. I'm gonna be so irritated, so pressed. It's cold outside. Like, I'm gonna have the worst day. But it's never that deep. and it just is what it is, and you just have to roll with the punches, and you can let your emotions get the best of you, or you can keep it pushing, and you need to just grow up. And like, I have continuously let myself have those moments, and it's like, who are you expecting to save you? Like, who are you expecting to make it all better? Because no one's gonna do that for you unless you do. No one was gonna make me have a better day unless I gave myself a better day. So I filmed my funny little YouTube video. I went and I got my Starbucks, and I sat down on my computer editing intros and learning how to use Canva. So yeah, and that's like one way that I allowed my negative feelings to redirect me into a positive, or it could have been negative, and that's why I think the word is duality. There's duality of it. Maybe not, and if that isn't the word, then that's embarrassing. I'm trying to read more. I'm actually reading this book. Let me pull it out for you guys. It's a good little spicy book. It's not like for real spicy, if you know what I mean, but it's more so like, it has a good storyline, and I'm only a couple pages in, and I like what I'm reading. It's basically about some guy who gets like his great uncle's like journals, and he reads them there. He's like, this is the most amazing piece of literature that's ever touched mankind. But his great uncle's like, don't publish these. Don't publish them. I warn you, don't publish them. And what did he do? He started publishing. So yeah. But back to all of this with redirection. I learned from a quite early age that, there's very little I have control over. But that made me want to obsess even more of things that I have. I literally I can't do anything. I cannot control the fact that my Uber driver decided to go get gas in the morning. And I cannot control when my tables at work decide to be rude to me, even though I've done everything to make them happy. I cannot control people's emotions and their actions, and I only have control over mine, and I'm learning to kind of roll with the punches, and it's so hard. It's so hard when I just want to crash out, but it's like, it's not doing anything for anyone. And with the whole topic of being practically a control freak, that was a big part of the reason why I graduated high school at 16, why I went to college, and why I thought I had everything taken care of. I was like, you know what? I know what's best for me. No one else knows what's best for me. I'm going to do this and this and this and this. And I was a resident assistant and a full-time student and working. And it was very hard. And, I was just kind of trying to prove to everyone and myself that I am worthy and that I can, and even that I'm better than. Like, a lot of what drove me towards my decision making has been spite. And, I was watching this podcast that Leo Skeppy had, and he was talking about how, you don't always have to be happy. But, even in your anger and frustration, let that be the reason why you achieve your goals. Let that feeling of frustration and annoyance or even anger be the fuel that you need to get up out of bed and do better for yourself. And in high school, I harnessed my anger really well because I put it into my academics. But I never learned how to deal with it or cope. And I've now, after I'm 19, after all of it, like experiencing the feelings of rage and sadness and happiness, like I don't really know how to cope with it. And I used a lot of the times, outward like forms of validation to cope. And I don't know, I'm learning to redirect those strong feelings and putting them into creation, like in general, whether it's happiness, sadness, all of it I want to put into my work. I do write music, and I'm learning how to record and basically how the whole process goes other than songwriting. I'm putting out my first single actually in a couple of days, which is really exciting, but also so scary because like this is a piece of me that I'm like putting into the world, and it will be harshly criticized and judged. But it's my first ever song, period. And it's not a reflection of who I am now as an artist, but it was 6 months ago. It was a year ago. A year ago I wrote it, 6 months ago I recorded it. That was like, this has all been beginning stages of my journey. And I'm allowing to take everything step by step, and I'm giving myself grace throughout the journey. I told myself I don't want this video to be no more than 15 minutes because I hate editing long videos. So, we touched on how emotions can, be the cause of redirection, but also sometimes it's just abrupt scenarios and you just have to react. I moved back to PA from Louisiana because unfortunately someone tried to harm me, and I came to a place that I knew was safe, and I always go back and forth between whether or not I ran or this or that, but no, inevitably I came back to a place that I knew was safe, and I thought I was doing what was best at the moment, and that whole situation brought me back to PA, brought me closer to music, and I have to be grateful for everything that I've been through along my journey. I've made amazing friendships along the way, and I've also let go of a lot of people that didn't serve me. And I think that's like one of the most gratifying forms of redirection, especially is when like you are forced, in a sense, to do what's best for you. You are forced, in a sense, to, put up those boundaries and stick with it. Like, I know that a lot of the friendships I held and even relationships were one-sided in my life, and that put a big burden on me, and it constantly made me question myself and what I bring to the table. And through real authentic friendships, I've learned to love myself, and I've learned, what it truly feels like to be loved, because to be loved is to be seen. And I have never once more felt so appreciated in my life. And it's because I'm now selective of who I allow in my life, who has access to me. Just because we had history does not mean that, we aren't different people now. And people do grow apart, and that's okay. And honestly, sometimes it's a blessing in disguise, because not everyone's also meant to be going with you on your journey to success. Some people have to fight their demons and, go through their own battles, and you can't fight their battles for them. And I was always trying to do that for other people. And this past year I have said, like, it's been my hardest year. Like, I've gone through so much this year, but regardless, I've persevered. And you can let redirection be negative or positive for you, and in every instance I have tried my best to allow it to be positive, because if not, I would have been in jail. Yeah, I would have been behind bars and maybe instituted. And that's just the reality. Like, I'm a Libra sun, Leo moon, Libra rising, triple L for Layla baby, triple threat. I'm sorry, that's cringy. Triple threat though, in all seriousness, my chart is the scariest like birth chart I've ever seen, but it's also the best. Yeah. Wait, you see, it's like it wants to shine on me. The makeup really ate down. Don't play. It ate down. So yeah, like, life is cuckoo crazy, and you have to accept that it is what it is most of the time. You don't have control over everything. You need to allow things to just be and happen sometimes. And with that, you will find so much clarity, and there will be such a stress taken off of your shoulders. And even when you're stuck between two things, like my bestie always says, two things can be true at the same time. They can. Like, I've been really scared about moving back to Louisiana, and that's okay. And regardless of my fears, because this, that, and the third, it is what it is. And I can be afraid and I can have these feelings, but there can also be the facts, you know, and my feelings can be justified fully because of everything that I've gone through, but so are the facts. And, you know, sometimes you just gotta take a chance. So, with that all being said, thank you guys so much again for staying tuned and watching me ramble about all the stuff I've learned and listen to my reflections. Um, so I hope to see you guys again. I don't know, maybe I'll keep this same little, like, what is it called? I completely lost my train of thought. And this same vibe going where all of my like beginning videos are just these short and sweet little reflections of my weeks and days. Because they're all jumbling together. I'm scared. But yeah, adios.